Broadcasting from Slough. Streaming around the world.
This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio. Oh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
The podcast.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Hello, it's episode 105 of the Atom Radio Drive Time podcast, the best bits of drive time from this week. Hope you're very well. I hope you have had a good week if you're listening to this at the weekend. The beauty of the podcast is, of course, you can listen to it whenever. See, that's the important thing. You can listen to it whenever you want. And hello to you if you're checking this out Saturday morning as it drops, or if you're checking it out at a later time, you are very welcome. Saturday, 3rd of October it is as we drop this one. So, yeah, in the best bits of drive time this week, a rubbish thing to do. Well, I didn't think it was at the time. When to and when not to check adult material. How to get rid of a bad mood. Some helpful suggestions came in on that as well. And big bottom girls. And I'm not being funny here. It is an actual topic of conversation. All that and more in episode 155 of the Drive Time podcast.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Across the weekend, the number of people, I did have to pop out for some shopping at the weekend. The number of people, well, firstly, the number of people I saw without masks, just not caring. And the number of other people who get to the front door of the shop and they pat their pocket looking for their mask and they turn around and go back again. Which is fine if you got parked in the front row, but can you imagine on a Saturday getting parked in the back row of the car park? You get to the front, you're like, oh, I'll have to go all the way back again. It's so annoying, isn't it?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Are you working from home? If you are, you've got 20 minutes to go, by the way. However, Boris Johnson last week changed the advice, didn't he? And said, I think you should now work from home if you can. A lot of people hadn't already gone back to work anyway. Bosses, however, are said to be tracking their employees. Digital tracking on apps such as Slack and Microsoft Teams log workers' time. Naughty. Now, obviously, if you employ someone, then you trust them to be working, don't you? And you trust them to get the work done. But Dr. Claudia Palglieri, I don't know how you say her name, she's a researcher into digital health and society at the University of Edinburgh, therefore probably locked down, told that bosses have ramped up their attempts to track their employees' time in the same way that they might in the real world. Now, one of the things I work on does use Slack. But I don't need to be on Slack to be working. It's just used for messaging. So then how is anyone tracking my time?
Mark Denholm. AtomRadio.co.uk.
Tuesday's drive time at 3:30. Online around the world from Slough in the United Kingdom. Tuesday is bin day for me. And I'll tell you a story about a bin. I'm wondering why there is this story, but I'll tell you a story about a bin after 4 o'clock. What I will tell you is the last Tuesday and this morning, while I'm having building work doing, which I may have mentioned, I have a skip on my drive outside my house. I also have with my house an allocated parking space, which is down in like a little car park there. And the bin men come round before the truck does, and they put all the bins ready to be emptied. Now, he saw that I was about to drive out from this allocated parking space and lined up all the bins in front of my car. Imagine his face then when I just drove up and butted up to the bins and then moved slowly, pushing them all out the way. Imagine his face. But to be fair, he could see what I was doing. He could see I was about to leave, so I think it's all his own fault.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
I did mention earlier on, if you are working from home, right, and you are using your own laptop, does this mean that you are allowed to check out porn on your laptop in the working hours? Obviously, if you are, just be careful if you do anything that involves a screen share. Be very, very careful.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Are you a Subway customer? You know, like the long baguette sandwich people Well, a thread on Reddit has caused some of the former Subway staff members, and indeed current Subway staff members, to announce the weirdest Subways that they have ever been asked for, including a 6-inch honey wheat with just condiments. All right. A 50-year-old trucker asked me to toast a tuna sandwich, put extra pickles and sprinkle 2 Splendor packages on top. And that was the sandwich that he had every day. There was a guy who would regularly order a tuna pizza, take the tuna salad, put a layer of it across the pizza, and then cover it with cheese as well. Like, I always feel bad enough going into like McDonald's or Wimpy or whatever and asking for a quarter pounder with only onion and ketchup and no cheese. Some people are just quite happy going out and getting whatever they want.
Mark Denholm.
Video footage has emerged of a game of blow football, table football, blow football, kind of a combination of the two. And this has been filmed before coronavirus, because you couldn't do it now unless you are obviously doing it within your own family or your own bubble. You couldn't really do it now. But Ivan Bodilevsky captured a video of men playing this game whilst working in Turkey. What they've done is they've made a giant-sized blow football table, and their heads come up through the table, and they're playing with, you know, like a kid's ball, say from a ball pit. They're playing with that, and literally you just blow the ball, which obviously you couldn't do now because of coronavirus. But I think this looks great. The game has no rules other than one main objective, which is to score a goal in the opposite net. Well, that's kind of football, isn't it? Summed up, score a goal in the opposite net. I would love to do that. I don't have enough friends to do it, if I'm honest. Like, especially not now as well. Rule of 6 and all that. You couldn't even play 5 aside, could you? You'd have to play 3 aside. That would be a little bit strange. But anyway, I'd love to do that. It just looks so much fun. You know, the other thing, like, you know, when you take your children to soft play, do you ever sit there and think, right, all right, I'd love to clear all the kids out and just play in here myself? Other than the fact they have these barriers that are height restricted.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
The weather. I know it's very, very British to talk about the weather, but let's be honest, summer is now gone. Not really surprising, last day of September today. Tomorrow you're looking at a high of 15 degrees, cloudy. Looking ahead, Friday, heavy rain, 13 degrees the maximum. Saturday, cloudy, changing to light showers later on, high of 13 degrees. Sunday, cloudy, changing to light showers. By lunchtime, high of 13 degrees. Monday, partly cloudy, changing to sunny intervals by late morning. We're having a recovery, a high of 14 degrees. It is autumn, isn't it? I'm thinking, because it's autumn now, what I should do, I've got a Chromecast on my telly. What I should do is just find perhaps a video on YouTube of a log fire and Chromecast it to my telly. And that'll save on the heating, because at least it'll look warm.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Calvin Harris and The Weekend, and over now. That is what happens with weekends, isn't it? They are just over too quick. It's not fair, is it? You have to do work 5 days a week, or school 5 days a week, or self-isolation at university 7 days a week. But actually, university students can't complain. They barely do anything. Even when they're not in self-isolation, they barely do anything. They get up at lunchtime, eat a pot noodle, and doss around for the day. That's the life of a university student. If you've been to university, I bet you cannot deny that, can you?
Mark Denholm.
AtomRadio.co.uk. 4:10, Friday afternoon, the big drive home online on atomradio.co.uk. On TuneIn, on iTunes Radio, and your smart speaker. I mentioned before 4 that for the last couple of days, I've not been in the best of moods, and I just want to shake it. But you know what? We are heading into the weekend. I just want to shake this bad mood. We did get some suggestions before 4 o'clock. Stacey says exercise. Exercise will do it. Fill the body with positive endorphins. I am in a small studio, though, Stacey. And thank you, Phil, for yours as well. It's a 3-letter word that may in fact result in reproduction, if you know what I'm saying. That's a great idea. But again, I'm sat here on my own in a small studio. That's annoying, isn't it?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
It's the Big Drive Home online around the world, atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn on iTunes Radio and on smart speaker. Have you got a big arse? I know it's a very, very personal question, but there is a reason for that. A larger bum may help you run faster. So if ever you're being chased and you've got a big bum, there's no excuse for not getting away now. The larger gluteus maximus can boost performance by up to 44%. Now, myself and my not wife, we know someone who has a very, very large gluteus maximus, but she sure as hell does not move fast.
atomradio.co.uk.
I would just like to take a moment to clarify, in terms of big bums making you faster, yes, a toned gluteus maximus will make you faster. A load of blubber and cellulite, well, that won't. That'll make you slower, just to confirm. But that is it. That is the Best Bits of Drive Time podcast, episode 105. Don't forget you can subscribe if you followed the link from the social media. Down on the page where you are listening to this, then there are the subscription links for iTunes, for Google, for Deezer and more. You can also subscribe on YouTube as well, and then you will be notified every week when a brand new podcast comes out. But that is episode 105, all done. There will be another podcast next week, and it will be, surprisingly, episode 106, you see? You don't need a degree in maths to work that out, do you? Episode 105 is all done. Cheers for your ears. That's a new expression that I think I'm coining. Cheers for your ears. Check out the show live, Monday afternoon, 3 o'clock on Atom Radio. The Big Drive Home returns.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Check out the show back on Monday on atomradio.co.uk, and don't forget you can subscribe on iTunes, on Spotify and on Google as well. Keep yourself well.
Atom